How's it going, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of Mavs Step Back Podcast. I'm your host, Dalton Trigg. As always, be sure to go like, rate, and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Send us a bunch of comments, likes. If you're feeling really appreciative of of Mavs Step Back content, if y'all would take a few seconds to go over to Apple Podcasts and just leave us a review over there, that would be greatly appreciated. And, I've mentioned if you've been following this podcast for however many years, I've had this thing going now since 2019. So 5 years now. God, I'm getting old. If if you've been following this podcast for a while, you know that if you go leave a review on Apple Podcasts, it automatically enters you for a chance to win future giveaways, whether that's, t-shirts from our TeePublic site. We have a lot of different designs over there. And by the way, we do have a flash sale going on over there too. For the next 7 days, you can get up to 30% off all of our designs, including a brand new Luka Kyrie cartoon parody of the White Men Can't Jump movie poster. So be sure to go over there and check all that out. But if you've been following this pod for a long time, you know that if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, it enters you for a chance to win giveaways, which includes t-shirts. Sometimes we do ticket giveaways. You never know when we'll have our hands on a couple of tickets that we'll randomly select a winner for. So, for a few seconds of your time, you can have your name thrown in the hat for all future giveaways. It's not, I do random draws, but if somebody wins, I'll mark it down that, this person won this time, so we can kind of spread it out a little bit, so we don't have consecutive on the off chance that, people win 2-3 times in a row. I I keep note of it to make sure we don't overlap too much. So, you have a pretty good chance to win over time as we continue to do these giveaways. So be sure to go do that. And again, make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Greatly appreciate all of y'all. I love what I do. And, you guys are the ones that make this worth doing. And I'm so excited to get this playoff run underway. It's I'm not gonna lie, it's been a trying year this year as far as personal stuff, family stuff that just life stuff that happens. But it's all good. I mean, we're the tough times don't last. You fight through it, and we're here. So the Mavs have had a great season. It's been a very good bright spot on everything that's gone on. And I'm super excited for them to be playing the Clippers for the third time in 5 years. And I think they have a very solid chance of winning this series if they take care of business. So we'll see how it goes. Now, look, we started this. If you're on this latest pod, you've probably already heard the previous two I uploaded where Jason Kidd and Kyrie Irving were talking. And now I'm going to have this one where Gafford is talking about this series coming up.
Daniel, you've been so successful since you've been here. What was it about this team that seemed like it's a perfect fit for you?
In all honesty, the chemistry when I got here was already through the roof. And it's just like when I got here, I kind of just piggybacked off of it. At the end of the day, everybody was playing for each other. Everybody was happy. The energy was positive. Everybody wanted to really just play to win, in all honesty. We came out. Like when I first got here, it's just like I already played here. Like I used to, like I told media when I first got here, it's just like I was already on this team when I first got here. Just playing is just, I was in the right spot at the right time. Guys were telling me the things to do, things not to do, how to just really just succeed on the floor, playing around just like all the guys on this team.
And when you saw the trade went through and you going from a team that's going to the lottery to a team that's getting ready to win 50 games, what was your mindset at that time?
It was one door closed and another door open for me. It was another opportunity for me to get better just throughout just like my career. And it's just something that I really just, hold my head up high on, because at the end of the day, this is a business. Every destination is not probably going to be like a solidified destination. So that's something that I've learned early on, because, when I went through my first year and a half, I did get traded from Chicago. So it was pretty much the same way, So just piggybacking off of just something that I've already experienced, just taking it one day at a time.
Piggybacking off you talking about the chemistry when you first got here, you haven't been around Kyrie and Luka a ton, but What's your sense of how primed they are to kind of lead this team deep in the playoffs?
Oh, I mean, in all honesty, like, they lead the pack and we're right behind them at the end of the day, and they just, for sure, just have that mindset of just making sure that they get guys locked in when it comes to just like the battle that we're about to go into. It's not easy to win in the playoffs. It's not even easy just to win in the regular season with how many wins we got. We had to fight for every win down the road, and those guys told us it was just every night is going to be a battle, whether it's a regular season game, preseason game, or a playoff game at the end of the day.
Do you feel like there are expectations for this team outside of the building? Like people look at the Mavericks as a team that can win the championship, or you're under the radar?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Just like from things that I've heard, just pretty much anywhere. At the end of the day, it's a lot of people saying that we can go all the way. It's a lot of people saying that, we're going to be first-round exits. It's a bit of a balanced scale at the end of the day. But with what we believe in, that's the only thing that matters. At the end of the day, we go out and we play at 110%. It's going to give us the opportunity to really go far in the playoffs for sure.
With this first round series, we know the status of Kawhi Leonard is kind of in flux right now. Are you guys preparing as if he's going to be in the lineup, or you have adjustments in case?
Almost done. Preparing for him to be in the lineup, preparing for everybody to be playing at the end of the day, because you have to be prepared, and the best preparation is always preparing. In all honesty, the worst preparation is no preparation. So we for sure are not going to take that road. We're going to just prepare for anybody to be on the floor at the end of the day. So if he's out there, we already prepared for him. If he's not, we still prepared for him.
With that being said, the Clippers got a lot of guys that like to get downhill, get to the rim. With you being rim protector that you are, I guess how does that impact your defensive mindset going into this series?
It really just gives me the motivation to just go out and just do my job at an elite level, just to be the best that I can be at any given standpoint when it comes to possession game, night in, night out, just being there for my teammates on the back end, trying to anchor the defense and just being the loudest guy out there, trying to make sure everybody knows where to be, knows where screens are coming from, man, just pretty much knowing just, you got somebody back here that's going to keep you protected at the end of the day, just in case if something breaks down on the front lines.
Between the two teams, there's 6 guys that are probably locks for the Hall of Fame. Do you think that star power will elevate this series in any way in terms of performance and or visibility?
In my opinion, yes. At the end of the day, like what I've been told, the last 5 years, they've played them in the first rounds, like 3 of those years, right? That's insane. So just thinking on that, there's going to be a lot of energy and there's going to be a lot of hype around this, first round for sure when it comes to these two teams going against each other.
What's allowed this team to have success on the road?
Just staying locked in, having positivity, and just knowing it's not going to be easy to win on the road for sure. At the end of the day, it's like Kyrie had said early on in the season when we had kind of like went through that slump. He was saying we got a target on our backs. At the end of the day, everybody's going to come out and give us their best game. And that's what they were doing, especially at the time when we were losing games. When I had first got here, it's just everybody was coming out and just giving us their best basketball, and we weren't adjusting to it. So, once we found ways to kind of like come together and build that, I would say, positive chemistry as a team, it's something that helped us out for sure.
What was the turning point in that early March period, do you think?
I would say, I can't remember what loss it was. I think it was after the one we had at home before we went on the road. We just kind of, came together, talked to each other, spent some time with each other, and just kind of, hashed it out and just figured out ways to just talk to each other at the end of the day. In this league, it's a lot of times where it's a lot of guys, you got leaders, you got vets, and then you got, the guys that are under the vets. At the end of the day, it's a lot of people that don't really, want to talk to each other, and that's just because of just like how life is. It's all about how you react. It's all about how you approach someone. And, figuring out ways to do that the right way helps the team kind of really just progress and take that step forward. And that's exactly what we did.
Since you've been mentioning the same sentence with Wilt Chamberlain, a lot of times this season, what can you do to take your game to another level against the Clippers?
Really just stay patient, in all honesty, and just keep doing what I've been doing, but do it to pretty much be better than the day before, and just put 1 foot ahead of each other and just take it 1 step at a time, for sure.
Daniel, you mentioned how this, at the end of the day, this is a business. This league is a business. When you learned that lesson, did that change how you kind of saw the league or approached even your game?
It most definitely helped me just like really humble myself, in all honesty. I mean, I'm in a league with a lot of talented guys. At the end of the day, I'm not the best out there. So when it comes to that, one of the jobs that I knew I was going to have to do, I was going to have to work day in, day out, no matter where I was, no matter who I was playing with, no matter what team I was on. Just coming in and just having that mindset to just get better, just to help the team that I'm on a day-to-day basis is kind of like one thing that kind of like helped me just really just unlock my potential, I would say. Just I would say being a little bit more vocal. It helped me kind of like change myself in ways that I didn't think I was going to be able to change.
What do you remember about your playoff series back when you were a youngster?
When I got to Washington?
Shooting 85%.
I mean, when I got to Washington, it was just like my first time that I actually got a chance to really just fully play against Joel Embiid. And man, that was a time for sure. That was a time for sure. It's just that, but like for sure, that one series, that alone for like helped me mentally lock into just like how I wanted to just like prepare for the game, prepare mentally, physically, emotionally, everything when it came to just like off the floor and on the floor. So I had to kind of like split that into two and just figure out ways to help me kind of like progress my game and just progress myself to be able to come out and just withstand, playing against some of these big guys in the league. You got the Joels, the Jokic's, at the end of the day, at some point in time, you're going to get pushed around. There's going to be some point in time you get frustrated because, you want to, do your best to play against the best, but sometimes the upper hand is always the upper hand.
Daniel,
So
what's
you're
it
saying
been like
you're
playing
outplayed
for Coach Kidd so far? What's it been like playing for Coach Kidd so far?
Oh, it's great. He, of course, one of the best in the league when he had played and just really just implementing just kind of like some of his knowledge into the game and some of the things that we want to do here is just something that, I'm really inspired by because of just, what he did in the league for sure. And he's just taking like the stuff that he learned, the stuff that he did and the stuff that he was around, he's implemented it just like how he wants to coach. And I just see it day in, day out. He's a real down-to-earth coach. He's real humble. And for sure, when he needs to get on your tail, he'll do that too.
The defensive numbers for the team, the improvement coincides pretty closely with the trades for you and PJ. When you boil it down, what do you think those trades for the two of you brought? How did they help this team, do you think?
In all honesty, it just brought two pieces that, you can even ask guys on the team that they said that they needed at the end of the day, and just with like just some of the staff and stuff, they were saying like throughout my pre-draft and stuff like that, they were saying they always had, of course, eyes on me at the end of the day. I didn't know where I was going when I came out my second year, and they were just telling me stories of just like how the pre-draft and stuff went. I was like, yeah, it sounds like I could have been here my first year, So just, looking back at that, it's just something that, I always hold dear, and just having both of us come in pretty much at the right time is just something that just kind of like helped us boost our potential and just put us in the right spot at the right time, in all honesty.
That series against Embiid, you said that's time. Where in that process did you accept that you could have done everything right as a defender and he still might score against anybody?
Yeah, I think it was maybe I don't know if it was the first game or the second game. He had a jump shot over me. It was like a fadeaway. And I was like, so this is the ball. My hand was like there, and he still made it, Like, for sure, 100% thought I would block the shot. And I looked back, and the ball was going through the hoop. That's why I was like, oh, yeah, this is insane. Some of the shots that he made that series was crazy. And it's just, it was a learning period for me because I was trying to find ways to just put myself in position not to really just be in foul trouble so much. I was playing against a guy that was really, really good at drawing fouls at the end of the day. So it's just like, okay, this is a learning point for me. Now I have to really just, learn how to move my puppies at the end of the day.
How much of your aggressiveness is helped by the fact that that Derek's back behind you and that you have 6 fouls?
It means a lot, in all honesty, because if one guy falls down, the next guy steps up, and that matters. That's, I would say, in the case of when it comes to fouls, injuries, so on and so forth. And it's just like the 1-2 punch. So if I get an early foul trouble, I know I got somebody who's gonna come in and pretty much pick up from where I left off.
All right, guys. Again, that was Daniel Gafford talking about the upcoming series against the Clippers. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're ready for a fun one coming up this Sunday, Game 1 in Los Angeles, Mavs and Clippers. Again, be sure to like, rate, and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And again, I appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you after Game 1.